What are you doing?
I'm looking for drugs.
I confiscated those weeks ago.
And you don't think she got her hands on more? Andrew, did you see her? Her eyes were completely bloodshot and her pupils were dilated.
What I loved about the series was the fact that there are so many twists and turns in every episode. When I read the pilot, I was blown away by how many characters and how many dualities that all these characters had, and especially Sarah Michelle's character. She's playing two identical twins, and one twin has assumed the identity of another twin. So that's scope enough there for an entire series. I think Sarah's a powerhouse. I mean, you forget that she's an international superstar, and she's a real pleasure to work with on a daily basis. She's also not only an actress, she's a producer, she's a mom, and we have a lot of those things in common. I have a 2-year-old daughter, she has a 2-year-old daughter, so she's a really impressive character. She can hold the through line of both her characters in her head, and indeed all of us as a whole. So she can stop a scene in the middle of it and say, no, this isn't working, we need to do it the other way, and she's a really impressive girl. It's confusing enough for me to keep hold of my own lines and not to bump into the furniture. I mean, but Sarah Michelle has to hold on to both characters, and of course one character, the character of Bridget, is actually representing Siobhan to the rest of us who think that she is Siobhan. So it's pretty complicated at any given time, but she copes with it with ease. She's just the consummate professional, and she's all over it. I think that every character in the show has a darker side or another side to them that we're not necessarily showing at the beginning. I think that was one of the things that attracted me to playing Andrew, was the fact that he was so ambiguous, especially in the pilot. At the moment, we're going down the road of him trying to fix his marriage, because obviously all is not well in paradise when we first meet them. But I'm sure down the road we'll see some twists and turns where Andrew reveals his true inner self, and whether that is a really good guy who's doing something against his will, despite himself, or if he's inherently evil in the first place, who knows. But it's certainly fun to play that ambiguity, and I think that's what the audience are responding to. Siobhan is clearly in Paris. I think she's like the puppet master, and we're all little marionettes, and she's dictating things from Paris, events that happen in New York. Now, whether that's the grand scheme of the entire series, we don't yet know. But Siobhan is certainly in Paris, and her identical twin sister Bridget, has taken over her identity, as it were, in New York. So I think I'm still married to Siobhan, but of course it's Bridget playing Siobhan.
Life changes, and you look for different things, and I was really fortunate with Buffy, and I sort of achieved everything I wanted, and this time was about having fun and doing something that I would enjoy, that the audience would enjoy, but at the same time doing something that was different that I hadn't seen, and this sort of encompassed all those things. Plus there was really good-looking guys. Yes. That are easy to make blush. You couldn't ask for anyone better. You spend, incredibly long days, and you're away from your family. And for me, if I was going to take that leap, it had to be with people that I wanted to spend that time with on every level, both professionally and personally. And he's the best.
Wow.
And he's good at taking a practical joke, which is also something that I look for in a co-star.
Oh, yes. You've got to be on your toes when Sarah's around.
I mean, that's one of my favorite things about the show, and that was important to me, was I love the mysteries of it, but as an audience, I know you want answers. And so that's one of the fun things about the show, is we do answer a lot of the questions very quickly. Unfortunately, it then brings up 5 more questions, but you do get juicy tidbits. I'm trying to remember the next episode. Let's see what... Oh, there's a big twist at the end of the next episode.
There is indeed.
They're all going to find out at different points. Siobhan's doing a very... clever job of hiding herself, but she won't be able to hide forever, especially as Siobhan gets a little bit bigger.
Yes, of course.
Yes, there is that situation too.
Yes.